Okay, so now you know what you need to include in that assessment area of the QEP assessment report, but you might want to know where to get those reflection prompts and the scoring rubric. Well, you get that on EagleWeb, OIRE, QEP, and we are looking now for these items here, the QEP objectives, prompts, and rubrics. Now, I'm going to download the one related to professional development. You might be targeting global perspectives. If you are, you'll want to download that reflection, prompts, and scoring rubric. So you just click on it. It's downloaded. You open it up, and here it is. These are the QEP objectives for professional development, the SLOs, the reflection prompt for those SLOs, and the scoring guideline, the scoring rubric for the prompts. So what you might need to do is provide some scaffolding to these prompts. And so to do that, I'm going to have to enable editing. And I don't like that view. I don't know why you keep insisting I want multiple pages, but I don't. So here's prompt number 1 that deals with initiative. During the completion of the required work for this high-impact practice, discuss the steps you've taken to generate, pursue opportunities to expand your knowledge, skills, abilities, attitudes, or values. Okay. Now, if you need to provide some scaffolding, let's say I'm going to provide scaffolding for preparation for a recital. I might put here, in other words, while preparing for a recital, for this recital, did you look for other sources of information beyond what was covered in the lesson? If so, how? Okay, so that might get the kind of prompt that will let you assess how the student demonstrates their own initiative in the realm of professional development. Okay, so prompt number 2, professional development independence. Based on your experience with this HIP, discuss how you go about gathering more information on this topic. How has your approach to information gathering changed as a result of this experience? And discuss how this approach would inform your approach to future professional challenges. Again, you might need to provide some scaffolding. In other words, now that you have prepared for a recital, how might you do things differently preparing for another performance? Where would you go for guidance if you did not have an applied lesson with a professor? Okay, how are you going to continue to do this when you don't have our guidance? Professional development curiosity. Reflecting on your experience with this high-impact practice, how would you summarize what you've learned? What steps did you take to learn about this subject? What's the next step you would take if you were to continue this project? Scaffolding. In other words, are there areas of the repertoire that you have decided you would like to explore further? How would you do so? Something like that. In getting ready for this recital, did you become curious in general about music from the mid-romantic era? Something like that. Transfer as it relates to professional development. In what tangible ways have you applied the knowledge gained during your HIP experience to other areas of your own life? Discuss how your new experience with professional development have fueled your imagination, independent thought, and lifelong learning. In other words, what skills have you gained from preparing for this recital that you think will benefit you in your future professional career? Okay. Professional development, self-reflection, self-assessment. As a result of your experience, analyze your strengths and weaknesses as it relates to professional development. Explain how you employ your strengths and create or employ strategies to improve your weaknesses as you go into your world of work. In other words, as you prepared for this recital, were there pieces or sections that match your strengths? How can you capitalize on your strengths in the future? Were there pieces or sections that you found particularly challenging? How can you prepare for similar music in the future? Something like that. So this is what you would give to the student. You might print it out, say, here's your assignment, type this up and bring it back to me. And that's what they are responding to. That's the prompt. Now, after they give you the reflection back, you need to use this, the scoring guide for professional development. You would read through the section. You really would kind of need to read through the whole reflection, but mostly, hopefully, you will find most evidence for initiative in that first prompt. If you do find evidence of initiative later, you can consider that as you score it. Now this goes needs improvement, basic, meets expectations, exceeds expectations, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can give a 0, especially if they don't write anything, or if their reflection does not seem to speak at all to initiative. It is okay to give a 0, all right? So initiative, completes required work. That's 1. That does not meet expectations. They're just doing what they've been told to do. Maybe completes required work and identifies opportunities to expand knowledge, skills, and abilities. They complete the required work and they know what they could do to look at information on their own, but they don't really follow through with it. That would be partially meets expectations. At least they know there are other things they could be doing. Completes required work, identifies and pursues opportunities to expand knowledge, skills, and abilities. So they know what to do and they actually do it. And then distinguished or exceeds expectations, completes required work, generates and pursues opportunities to expand knowledge, skills, and abilities. So they're actively looking for ways to improve themselves as it relates to the high impact practice. And you find that evidence in their reflection. Okay, so this is what you use to score their reflections. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 categories for you to review. And you score it as best you see fit. It's up to you how you do this. You might want to print this out, put the student's name in there in the high impact practice that they used, and put check marks where you think they scored and say that in a location so you can tabulate it later. Now, there is a way to do this in Canvas. And I will show you that way in a much later module because the Canvas way is not necessary entirely. You can do this the old school way of printing this out and having the students write it and print it out, and then you print out the rubric and score them and then tabulate it all yourself. But there is a way that Canvas can give the assignment, collect the reflection, and present the rubric to you so that you can do it all in the Canvas environment, and then it will even tally the scores for you so you don't have that additional step. You want to know how to do that, don't you? Well, that's in another video. All right, I hope you found this helpful. As always, if you need any help whatsoever, just reach out to me, nmc@reinhardt.edu. I'd be happy to help you out. All right, see you later.